Emilio has served as a team doctor for the Kansas City Wizards and the Kansas City Attack. In 1997, Dr. John co-founded the Kansas City Brass, a team dedicated to developing young Kansas City talent into professional players. In its 15 years, the Brass led to the development of 28 professional players who began their youth playing in Kansas City. These accomplishments led to the Kansas City Brass being inducted in the United Soccer League's Hall of Fame in 2007. Emilio lives with his wife Annette in Overland Park. Thank you, Dr. Emilio John, for your dedication and passion in promoting soccer in Kansas City. FC Kansas City fans, here is the starting lineup for this evening's opponents, the Chicago Red Stars. Team captain, number 23, forward Kristen Press. In goal, number 1, Alyssa Nair. Number 3, defender, Erin Gilliland. Number 4, midfielder, Alyssa Mouts. Number 5, defender, Katie Naughton. Number 6, defender, Casey Short. Number 10, midfielder, Vanessa DiBernardo. Number 13, midfielder, Amanda DaCosta. Number 16, defender, Samantha Johnson. Number 20, forward, Sofia Huerta. And number 24, midfielder, Danielle Calaprico. Chicago Red Stars are coached by Rory Dames. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce today's starting lineup for FC Kansas City. Team captain, number 4, defender, Becky Sauerbrunn. In goal, team captain, number 18, Nicole Barnett. Number 2, forward, Shay Groom. Number 3, midfielder, Desiree Scott. Number 5, defender, Alex Arlett. Number 7, forward, Mandy Laddish. Number 9, midfielder, Heather O'Reilly. Number 10, defender, Yael Averbush. Number 11, midfielder, Francis Silva. Number 13, defender, Brittany Taylor. And playing in her last game for FC Kansas City, number 6, midfielder, Jen Buskowski. Jen has been a fixture in the middle of FC Kansas City's lineup since the team and league began play in 2013. She's also the only player in the history of the National Women's Soccer League to start every regular season game. She's been a leader in the locker room and on the field and an integral piece to the team's back-to-back NWSL championships. Most of all, though, we are happy to call Buzz our dear friend. We all wish her well on her new career path. Presenting Buzz with flowers this evening is FC Kansas City head coach Vlatko Andonovski. FC Kansas City fans, let's hear it one last time for Jen Buskowski. The head coach for FC Kansas City is Vlatko Andonovski. Ladies and gentlemen, FC Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you please rise and direct your attention to the American flag in the northeast corner of the field and join us in paying respect to the Stars and Stripes as the Excelsior Springs Middle School Choir sings our national anthem.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yep. Okay.
Fans, please direct your attention to the pitch for today's coin toss. Referee Chapalo Street, assistant referees Benjamin Wooten and Maggie Short with fourth official Shane Kennard are joined by Red Stars team captain Kristen Press and FC Kansas City captain Becky Sauerbrunn. Our honorary coin toss captain tonight is Roger Kemp. In June of 2002, Roger's daughter Allie was senselessly murdered in a neighborhood pool in Leawood, Kansas. Soon after Allie's tragic death, Roger made it his mission to educate women of all ages about the importance of personal safety through hands-on self-defense. Such training provides safety awareness that every woman needs and deserves. Today, the Blues players are wearing special pink jerseys in support of Roger and his foundation, and you can bid on these special jerseys near the main entrance until the 75th minute of tonight's match. All proceeds from the silent auction benefit the Allie Kemp Educational Fund.
And welcome into Swope Soccer Village in Kansas City, Missouri for the National Women's Soccer League contest between the home side FC Kansas City and the visiting Chicago Red Stars. Joined by Tiffany Weimer, I am Brad Porter. We are set to go here. And Tiffany, thank you for joining us on the broadcast.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
We welcome our fans in Chicago who are watching this, as well as our home fans here in Kansas City. FC Kansas City will be in the alternate home jerseys, the pink tops, white shorts, and white socks, moving from our right to our left, and the Chicago Red Stars in the blue and white tops, the blue shorts and the blue socks, moving from our left to our right. FC Kansas City wearing the pink jerseys tonight in honor of Allie Kemp, and those of you who live in the Kansas City area remember the tragedy that happened 12 years ago. And her father has done so much in this area to teach self-defense to young women and young people. And we appreciate everything he has done, and so that is why FC Kansas City is wearing the pink tops tonight. So Tiffany, this is your first broadcast. Jump in anytime you want to. Any questions?
If I have to use the bathroom, where do I go? No, I'm just kidding.
You mentioned your sense of humor. I didn't know you were going to go there. That's all right. So FC Kansas City struggling out the gate this season, 0-3-1, just 1 point from their 4 games, second from the bottom of the table in NWSL, coming off back-to-back championships. Chicago Red Stars, on the other hand, are rolling 3-1-0 with 9 points from 4 games. They are in second place in the NWSL. And for FC Kansas City, it is tough to defend a couple of championships when you lose players like Lauren Holiday, Leanne Brown, or Leanne Robinson as we knew her. Jen Buskowski, by the way, is playing her final professional game tonight, which will be a sad note at the end of this evening. She's played over 6,600 minutes in the National Women's Soccer League. And there is Jen Buskowski. Tiffany, you've gotten a chance to train with her for a little time now, and Jen is what I would call just an iron woman. She's a warrior, 100% all the time.
I've played against Buzz for quite a few years now, and played with her on youth national teams. And you know, you don't always notice everything she does. She does the little things well every single game, and she has all those championships for a reason. Absolutely.
The family and friends of Jen Buskowski are watching this evening. We will keep a close eye on her. And we appreciate everything she's done for FC Kansas City in the time that we've had this franchise. A couple of championships, and she never comes off. Now FC Kansas City trying to build the attack. Alex Arlett making her first start of the season down the left flank. Francis Silva getting the start tonight as well. The West Virginia grad out of Overland Park, one of the local kids on the team. And Francis Silva tips it in, and this could be on for FC Kansas City, looking for a shooting angle. Maddie Laddish was there. Now a shot and not much danger, but a good build-up for FC Kansas City early on.
Yeah, it's good for Alex to get touches early on in the game. I'm sure she's a little nervous with this being her first start, but she's looked really good in practice, and I'm sure she'll do great today.
We're talking about Alex Arlett, number 5, getting her first start this evening. Houston, Texas, played college soccer at LSU. Now Becky Sauerbrunn will track it back and get it back. U.S. international Nicole Barnhart. Aaron Gilliland was on it momentarily for Chicago. Maddie Laddish able to get it for FC Kansas City. Going onto that far wing, Brittany Taylor. Heather O'Reilly was there for a moment as well. And we expect to lose Heather O'Reilly here in the next couple of weeks with the Olympics in Brazil coming up this summer. Tiffany, as you look forward to the Olympics, what do you think about the U.S. women's national team going back-to-back World Cup champs and Olympic gold medalists?
I think it's totally possible. They've lost a few players, but the young players have done very well, and I think with some of the bigger name teams not in it, they should have a very good chance.
There's a lot of discussion surrounding the World Cup this summer with Zika virus and equal play and those sorts of things, but we expect to have a strong U.S. side this summer in Brazil. Francis Silva now playing strong defense and a nice slide tackle by Silva, but this will be a throw-in for Chicago. Chicago Red Stars, Tiffany, they have come out hot this season. Of course, they were disappointed with the loss in the semifinals to FC Kansas City last year, and I know they felt the 3-0 scoreline was not indicative of the game they played in that semifinal game. They feel like they're a strong team.
Yeah, I think they started off a little slow in the first game this year, losing to Houston, but they are a young team, and I think that they've bought into Coach Rory Dames' plan, and you know, they look good. They're going to have a good year.
Francis Silva tracked all the way back, and there's Arlett. You mentioned the bad start against Houston. They fell 3-1, but they've won 3 straight And all 3 by way of shutouts. So their defense has found a way to clamp down.
And they also have Alyssa Nair,
Yep.
who's one of the best goalkeepers in this league, in this country. So, you know, they're pretty solid back there.
Alyssa Nair, the star goalkeeper for Chicago Red Stars, who I'll say 100% should be on the Olympic team this summer in Brazil, backing up Hope Solo, which Nicole Barnhart did for several years, the FC Kansas City goalkeeper. Becky Sauerman will cycle it back to Nicole Barnhart. And Tiffany, in the time that you've had to train with Nicole Barnhart, she's not with the national team anymore, but gotten a chance to see how much experience and passion she has for the game.
I've played with Barnhart for a couple years, and she looks the best she's ever looked. I think she's the healthiest she's ever been. She says the training that she's doing now has made her feel pretty close to 100%, and it shows every game.
She's been an absolute star during her time in FC Kansas City. Been NWSL Best 11 a couple of times, and of course the back-to-back championships. Chicago Red Stars on the throw-in, but FC Kansas City's got a chance. And that'll be sent on to play on the far side. Heather O'Reilly just waiting for an opportunity to spring this Blues offense. On the far side, turned over. Vanessa DiBernardo got it for Chicago, trying to spring their offense. Heather O'Reilly for FC Kansas City, one of those players that seems, even if she's standing still, seems like she's moving 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, the team actually has a nickname for her. They call her Serenity because, you know, she's always so calm and. You see, you can't hear people laughing on these broadcasts, so I don't know.
I gotcha.
You got to give me a little something
Serenity
here.
with a little fire.
All right.
Barnhart in this may be a corner for Chicago, and it will be. Two Chicago players making their way over. Looks like it'll be Danielle Calaprico. Sarah Johnson will take it. Left-footed in swinger. In front. Didn't send away. We're at minute 10. And we'll take another look at the corner here. Tiffany, what do you see?
It's a good corner played in. It's hard to tell what happened there. It looks like it hit off of DaCosta, but I couldn't tell.
Chicago Red Stars on the move again. Tipped away by Barnhart and headed away by Arlett. Well done by Arlett and Barnhart both.
That's huge for her to get ahead on that.
And we'll take another look at it here. What an unbelievable job off the rebound. First Barnhart. So Alex Arlett getting her first start and making a big play early. FC Kansas City will play it up the right side, trying to find Shea Groom up front. Shea Groom, unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago got red carded, which is quite unusual. Now here's Arlett, who just headed one away from the goal, working with Francis Silva down the left flank. Now something building for FC Kansas City. Arlett plays it out wide. Left-footed shot. And no danger there for the Chicago goalkeeper, Alyssa Nair, 28 years old. 2014 NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year. So in this game, you have two of the best goalkeepers in the history of the National Women's Soccer League.
And you said Alyssa's 28. I think she's the oldest player on the team, which
means they're very young, right?
Yeah, they're very young.
Chicago Red Stars with plenty of stars, no pun intended. Kristen Press, we'll
Good one.
expect to see her. Thank you. You were working on your jokes before the game, so we'll see how that works out. And Becky Sauerbrunn sending it towards the middle. Maddie Laddish.
It's Mandy's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Maddie Laddish. Kansas City kid.
I think she's trying to steal Buzz's thunder today with her birthday. Doesn't she know?
Hopefully the fact that it's her birthday and she went to Notre Dame means we'll have a little luck
Yes.
of the Irish. Maddie Laddish. Just working on that on the fly. At least
It's
some
good,
kid.
it's good.
Alex Arlett. Boy, she's been active early. Francis Silva. And here's Desiree Scott back with FC Kansas City, making her run down the middle. We're used to this. Sending it across to the front. Shea Groom. Lays it off across the middle to cycle it over to the right. Heather O'Reilly. Being closely guarded by Casey Short. Sent across the front and way skied over the top. Just a little overheated for FC Kansas City. But a nice build-up. And Desiree Scott, you know, when you work with her and you play against her and with her, she's just an absolute dynamo. You look at her, what is she, 5'4", 5'5", but she is a dynamite for the Canadian national team as well as FC Kansas City.
In training, she's one of the hardest players to play against. She always finds a way to find the ball. I don't really understand it, actually, but it's really impressive.
She was a big part of FC Kansas City, and then, of course, she departed for Europe for a short time and came back for this season. And there is Desiree Scott, the aforementioned Canadian international. Chicago had a thought of launching something. They had Sofia Huerta up top. In the starting 11. Her fifth start in the last 5 games. 23-year-old forward. And Desiree Scott, boy, she moves from the left side to the right side to the middle and back and forth with such ease. Foul. And that'll be Chicago's ball, quickly retaken. Katie Naughton. Send it up top, and whenever you get in Becky Sauerbrunn territory, that's not a good place for an offensive player. Tiffany, when you watched the World Cup last summer, I personally I thought, well, and I'll finish that thought in a second here as FC Kansas City builds their attack. Maddie Laddish and Francis Silva plays it inside and back to Arlett, making her first start. And that just sent a little past Heather O'Reilly. Arlett will head it forward towards Francis Silva. This will be thrown for Chicago. But back to the World Cup last summer, I really thought Becky Sauerbrunn got shortchanged not being on the All-World Cup team last summer. I thought she was the best player in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Becky's such a smart player. She doesn't always do the spectacular things because she doesn't need to. She's in the right spot at the right time, like right there.
Right there!
and it's not always, you know, highlight reels, but she definitely deserved to be on there.
Now tipped away. Laddish initially had a shot. Still dangerous in front. Right footed shot by Muskowski, and she just missed it. And what an applause from the crowd who appreciates the fact this is her last game, and she gave it a good ride there. She's not known for scoring. That's not her reputation, but What a night it would be if she could get on the score sheet. Jen Buskowski. You were showing me the graphic before the game. Over 6,600 minutes played in this league. And that's just, it's an Iron Woman. She never comes out.
It's incredible because people pick up little injuries here and there all the time, and you know it just goes to show she takes care of her body, she works hard, she deserves it.
Now Chicago, there's press. Press again. We're in the captain's armband. Played outside. And Gilliland across the middle. Chicago threatening momentarily. And now Heather O'Reilly will try to launch the counter for FC Kansas City. And look at this out front. Just a step behind for Shea Groom. But it is still on for FC Kansas City. Brittany Taylor pushing down the right side. Now in front. Another shooting attempt across the face. And just unable to link up there. Francis Silva was trailing the play on the left flank. But Tiffany, that's 2 possessions in a row for FC Kansas City with a chance to put one in. And we'll look at this one more time in the build-up.
Yeah, this is a good ball by Shea. I think it would be perfect if somebody could get on the back end of that. Silva was really close. She probably could have just started her run a little bit earlier, and she would have had the back of that.
Francis Silva, one of those Kansas City kids in the lineup tonight. A lot of Kansas City kids in the lineup with Shea and Francis and Maddie. Thrown by Gilliland.
Yeah, they educate us all on the tornado stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't know what we were doing.
So the East Coasters, you don't really get many tornadoes out there?
Let's just say we get kind of scared.
We did have, for those of you from watching us in Chicago and here in Kansas City, we were having a beautiful day up until about 3 or 4 o'clock, and then some nasty clouds moved in. We had some rain, we had some hail. Not too much, just a little bit. And the temperature dropped about 25 degrees, and that's a warning sign that that is tornado weather. Thankfully, we haven't seen any of that in the area tonight in Chicago.
No, because then I would have to leave.
Chicago Red Stars threatening here. And FC Kansas City thwarts that attempt. But it was pretty nasty weather, and the flags right now, if you're watching the online broadcast, are moving straight from our left to our right. So that's moving from the north to the south, which is why the temperatures have dropped significantly throughout the day today. Desiree Scott plays it back to Barnhart. Minute 20 of our first half. National Women's Soccer League, the visiting Chicago Red Stars, here to face the 2-time defending NWSL champion, FC Kansas City Blues. Chicago will launch their attack. That is press, and she'll chip it in. Headed away, and a shot taken and blasted high over the bar. But a good build-up by Chicago.
And speaking of press, the Red Stars did well to press high on the field, and I think Kansas City had a bit of a hard time getting out of that just now. But they do that well.
FC Kansas City enjoying a majority of the possession here early in the first half, and now a foul. This will be a free kick for the Blues. Taking it. Ciel Averbush. The flag is up, and another foul. And down hard to the turf is Heather O'Reilly. She'll take a minute to collect herself. Heather O'Reilly, fantastic for the U.S. women's national team for so long. Hope to see her in the Olympics this summer, if that should happen. But I've never seen Tiffany. I don't know your time being around her, playing with her or against her. I don't know if I've seen somebody smile that much.
Heather, yeah.
She smiles a lot.
She's
Not right now, obviously,
No.
but
She loves playing the game and, being around her all the time now. She's always talking about soccer, always watching soccer. She really, really enjoys what she does. And, doing it for as long as she has, it says something about her.
and Yale will take this free kick, and that's a long delivery right inside the 6-yard box, but saved easily by Alyssa Nair. She'll send that 3/4 of the way down the field. And this will be a foul against FC Kansas City, and it's against Jen Buskowski in her final game, and the fans are saying, come on, but honestly, if Jen Buskowski did not get called for a foul in her final game, it wouldn't be a Jen Buskowski game, right?
That's true. Maybe the ref doesn't know, though. We should tell him.
Her trademark is hardcore play. This will be sent inside the 18. And there's Press, who's on it, and she'll send it across the front, and no trouble for Barnhart. But Jen Buskowski, hard-nosed player, not afraid to get a foul at the right time, jam the wheels a little bit. Not afraid to get her hands dirty. But now she is retiring from professional soccer, pursuing her future profession, physical therapy.
I think that's such a good job for her. I feel like when she plays, she doesn't ever look for the glory. She didn't even want to give a speech,
Really?
because it's her last game and everything. She didn't want it to be about her, and being a physical therapist is...
Now Shea Groom has a chance to get in front for FC Kansas City, and it's nicely turned aside by that Red Stars defense. Samantha Johnson able to turn it away, making her 5th start of the season for Chicago. Throw in for FC Kansas City, Francis Silva. Arlette sends it across the front, but nobody home for the Blues. And there's Buskowski and Desiree Scott. I'll tell you what, if you wanted to go into the soccer version of a brawl, you'd want Jen Buskowski and Desiree Scott on your side. Still FC Kansas City in possession. And this is going to be a corner for FC Kansas City. And it still takes me, I still have to get used to saying something other than Lauren Holiday for a corner kick for FC Kansas City, because she did it for so long. It's hard enough to get over saying Lauren Cheney. Then when you learn Holiday, and then
Right.
she retires. And this is Heather O'Reilly, who will take the right-footed out swinger. And the wind is blowing against Heather O'Reilly. So we'll see if that affects it. In front and headed away by Chicago. Kept in, left-footed shot, and that trickles away right side with no real danger. There's a lot of retirements. Lauren Holiday, Leanna Robinson, now Leanne Brown. Jen Buskowski after tonight, and then Sydney LaRue and Amy Rodriguez are out because they're having kids. Fantastic, but for FC Kansas City, it's trying to move on with what you have, and it's been challenging this season.
Every time one of the players comes out to practice that's retired, like Leanne and Lauren, the girls are always saying, "Are you going to come back? Are you going to come back?" And I'm like, no.
I heard Leanne was here last week.
Yeah, Leanne was here last week.
Dave Stewart, who does the broadcast here as well, told me about that, and that was one of those that was a little bit of a surprise. But she's from San Diego. She's played a lot of games, and if you can retire and go back and live on the beach in
Yeah.
Southern California, that's not a bad place to be.
Exactly.
And home fans not happy with that foul call. Vanessa DiBernardo running that midfield for Chicago. And a foul called. I would have said play on, but Shea Groom tumbled and got right back up, and they'll call the foul. Francis Silva will restart it, and we'll take another look at the foul. I would have said play on, but that was the previous foul there, so good free kick for FC Kansas City. Minute 27 as we approach the half-hour mark here in the first half. Heather O'Reilly, boy, dancing on the ball is just something she is so proficient at doing. She's turned it into an art form. As Becky Sauerbrunn, Arlette. Silva is waiting just outside the 18. Arlette charges through 2 defenders, sends it across the front, headed high and over the top. Oh, and a nice save by Nair. But what a cross by Arlette. And Tiffany, she fought through 2 defenders to get that space and get an angle to make a cross.
Yeah, and I think as a center back in college, you don't usually see that from defenders like that, but she's dangerous going forward, and I think that's what they like about her and what she's done well in preseason.
Now all of a sudden, Maddie Laddish is pulled up, and she is not running right now. She may have a leg issue, and now we got a foul call, and Maddie Laddish looks like she's hurt, and the referee is going to blow his whistle and stop and check. She was not walking all that well after that last play. So we'll see if she can tough it out. And we'll keep an eye on the FC Kansas City bench. Vlatko Andonovski's talking it over with his assistant coaches. And now look at this, Shea Groom, Liberty, Missouri kid, making a run inside the 18. Shot and just sails wide left. Shea Groom, what a breakaway by the Texas A&M product, Liberty, Missouri grad. Another look here, Tiffany.
Yeah, Shea's so dangerous going forward. I think here she's just a little bit off on frame, but if they can get her the ball facing forward like that, running at defenders, they're going to get opportunities like that all game.
And we have now crossed into the half-hour mark here in our first half between the visiting Chicago Red Stars and FC Kansas City. Nicole Barnhart will send it out of play. Throw in for Chicago. Battling with the ball, Sofia Huerta. Shea Groom for FC Kansas City. Battling there, Vanessa DiBernardo. Jen Buskowski. Try to say her name as many times as we can tonight. Our final game. So family and friends of Jen Buskowski. And there she is. Boy, look at her run. It's full stride. Family and friends of Jen Buskowski, we appreciate the fact that she's been able to play these 3.5 seasons here in Kansas City, win a couple of championships, and play thousands and thousands of minutes. I don't even want to know if you added up the training schedule plus the game schedule, how many minutes of soccer she has played in her career.
I know. And she's still going strong, too.
And I got a feeling, I believe she's going to continue her education here in Kansas City. I got a feeling she'll be out at training once in a while.
I'm sure.
Mixing it up.
That's
and there she
something
is.
That's been cool about FC Kansas City. A lot of players come back. I think they loved it so much that.
And there's Francis Silva on the move. Another Kansas City kid inside the 18 taken down. And fans are calling for a PK, but that was, at least in my opinion, not a penalty kick situation. It's a good hard play. You talk about retired players coming back to train. What about, I was watching saw on Twitter the other day, Sydney Leroux, who's, 4 or 5 months pregnant right now. Of course, her husband is Dom Dwyer from Sporting Kansas City, and I saw her at training. I saw a picture of her working out.
She comes every once in a while, gets in a little. She gets some touches on the ball, gets some sprints in. Does some push-ups.
So it's mom-to-be training.
Yeah.
There's Francis Silva looking for Heather O'Reilly. Always a good choice down that right side. There's O'Reilly trying to beat her defender, and she's taken down inside the 18, but not a penalty kick-worthy offense. So Sydney LaRue and Don Dwyer, if you're watching on the online broadcast, first of all, we appreciate it, but second of all, Sydney, take it easy. It's all right. Don't have to work too hard. Free kick for Chicago Red Stars, and this will be taken by Katie Naughton. There's Desiree Scott. Now Francis Silva for FC Kansas City, fighting through her defender. And now dispossessed in midfield. DaCosta was in the middle of that for Chicago. Press now sent in front. Dangerous for the Red Stars, but Becky Sauerbrunn sends it away, and this will be a corner for Chicago.
I think Vlatko is saying that they have scored quite often against FC KC on set pieces, and we worked on it quite a bit in training, actually. Press scored on a set piece just last game, actually, so they need to watch her now.
Speak Calaprico to take it for Chicago, right-footed in-swinger. And that was a little overheated. Minute 34, 0-0 our scoreline. FC Kansas City looking for points. Have just 1 point from their first 4 games. Chicago is off to a good start, second place. The NWSL, after the opening loss to the Houston Dash, it reeled off 3 straight wins, all by way of shutouts. And now the Red Stars have had the possession for the last couple of minutes. Nicole Barnhart able to snuff that out. Now Press forces the turnover for Chicago. Could be on for the Red Stars. Desiree Scott trying to blunt the attempt, and a right-footed shot. No problem for Barnhart. And Tiffany, haven't seen Nicole and Alyssa Nair for Chicago so much. What qualities do they have that gets them to that international U.S. World Cup Olympic level?
Well, Nair, she's just one of the best shot stoppers. She's so athletic, and I think we haven't even seen the best of her, I'm sure. And Barnhart, I'll let you take this one here.
That's
if you
okay.
want.
Heather O'Reilly now on the left side. Boy, she flips left to right as easy as anyone. And this will be a goal kick for Chicago. So that was nicely shut down by Chicago, and O'Reilly is slow to get up again. Boy, she has taken a couple of knocks tonight.
Yeah, it's good, though, that she's getting in situations where she can take players one-on-one. That's what they really need from both wingers, actually, Silva and O'Reilly.
Headed high in the air by Francis Silva. Away by Alyssa Montz was in there for Chicago. The Red Stars launching an attack here. DiBernardo sent dangerously in front and headed away by Becky Sauerbrunn. And just mishit by Chicago, and Jen Buskowski will try to get it out. Francis Silva, nice move, and this is launched. The counterattack by FC Kansas City. Heather O'Reilly trying to get in front of the charge, and that'll be shuttled back to Nair, and well defended by Katie Naughton. Now here's Press. Crossed in front for Chicago and headed away once again by that Kansas City defense. Finally shot away by Desiree Scott. This will be a throw-in for FC Kansas City. Brittany Taylor will take it, making her 5th start of the campaign. Minute 37. We are still scoreless. Maddie Laddish going to bring it near side. Arlett had a good first start for FC Kansas City. Here's Laddish. Looked like she was hurting just about 8 minutes ago. Press for Chicago. Kind of playing with fire right now with FC Kansas City. Sends it down the near flank, trying to pick out Huerta. Well defended by FC Kansas City. Huerta is a dangerous player. And that one just a little bit too far for Silva. And Press will obviously be part of the Olympic mix this summer down in Brazil. Oh! And a major collision at midfield. And Shea Groom is down. And the referee is reaching for his pocket, and that'll be a yellow card for Samantha Johnson in a major collision at midfield. Shea Groom was going 100% one direction and got turned right around like she hit a brick wall. And we'll take another look here, Tiffany.
Yeah, it looks like she had no idea she was even there. Probably got the wind knocked out of her a little bit there. But
yeah, she never
still a hard hit.
Yeah, she never saw it coming. No. And I'm not so sure Samantha Johnson was in the vicinity of a ball and maybe lucky to get away with just a yellow. And Shea Groom is up, and obviously she'll have to come out. But man alive, was that a collision, and everybody here at Swope Soccer Village collectively gasped seeing that hit. And we'll take see if we can take another look at it one more time, the hit. And she got the ball. Yeah, Johnson got the ball, to be fair. But Shea Groom never saw it coming. That is a tough hit. So Becky Sauerbrunn will retake this for FC Kansas City. Chicago trying to launch a counter momentarily. Here's Arlett on the near side. Very active in her first start for the Blues. Back to Desiree Scott. Throw in for Chicago. And this will be taken by Gilliland. And right back to Gilliland from Motts. And they'll pull the full switch and go over to the left side. And there's Johnson just given the yellow here in the first half, so she'll have to be careful. And Desiree Scott all the way over to the other side to wrestle possession away. Jen Buskowski, Desiree Scott. Looking for Heather O'Reilly. And there is O'Reilly, running like mad as usual. There's Buskowski. Shea Groom back in now for FC Kansas City. Now dispossessed, and well done by Amanda DaCosta for Chicago. Chasing it all the way down into the corner. Yale for FC Kansas City.
I think if FC Kansas City can just get that final ball, that's the last piece that they're missing right now.
FC Kansas City has dominated possession, and here's a chance for the Blues in front, trying to settle, finding a shooting angle, and just can't quite get there. Shea Groom. And you're right, just that final little, they've dominated possession. They're turning it over in the midfield, playing solid defense. Just need that one last touch. Now the corner for Heather O'Reilly. This will be the right-footed outswinger. Arlett, Laddish, Groom, sending it in front and turned away by Chicago. That was just a little bit short. Minute 43 of our first half, still 0-0. FC Kansas City and Chicago Red Stars. Heather O'Reilly. Now turned over and well done by Casey Short for Chicago. Another collision at midfield. This time, Chicago's Huerta takes a hard hit. And Tiffany, I'll ask you this as we approach the end of the first half here. This is year 4 for the National Women's Soccer League. And, oh, hold that thought for a second. Shea Groom had a notion to make a run. But year 4 of the National Women's Soccer League, and this is the first time a professional women's league in the United States has made it to the 4th year. And how big is this? Coming off a World Cup year, the league is still going, building into the Olympics, and moving on and still drawing huge crowds if you look at the attendance numbers over the opening month of the season.
Yeah, you know, being year 4 and it just keeps looking like it's going to get better and better every year. We haven't had that in the past with WPS, with WSA. So you can see that it's going to grow, and that, I mean, everyone has to be optimistic about that.
Here's Maddie Laddish. Lays it off. Jen Buskowski with a shot. Tell you what, she's going to take a few rips if she can get a chance. That's her second shot. But you're going to have to be pretty good to beat Alyssa Nair. And there's Jen Buskowski. We mentioned over 6,600 minutes played in the National Women's Soccer League. It's just an insane number.
She just keeps buzzing around.
Okay, that was funny. Jen Buskowski. Think that's what her business card will say? Just buzzing around?
Just buzzing.
Now midfield for Chicago, Huerta. She's had a couple of chances to be on the ball. Desiree Scott for the Blues.
She is always around to clean up everything, Desiree Scott. I feel like she's literally everywhere.
Laddish trying to keep it in on that right side, and this will be a throw-in for Chicago. You never want to say a team really missed a player when they won a championship, but FC Kansas City missed Desiree Scott.
Yeah.
Such a solid player. Now Chicago will restart it here as we have reached the full 45 minutes. Now we're just a couple of minutes into added time here at the end of the first half. And a couple of injuries. DiBernardo for Chicago. Casey Short. And the fourth official on the far side keeps checking his watch. Heather O'Reilly sends it out of bounds. Another throw in for Casey Short. And there is the halftime whistle. So we have reached the first half with a 0-0 score line. And Tiffany will take a look at some of the Highlights of Jen Bezkowski's final first half. Well, she's so fun to watch. Got a couple of shots. How about that?
She wants to go out on top.
Not known as a goal scorer, but she's working hard to send something. How about some flowers? Be a nice way to go out. All right, we will step away for a few minutes, and we will leave our cameras on here, but we're going to take a brief recess. But 0-0 here at Swope Soccer Village, FC Kansas City and Chicago Red Stars. Back in just a couple of minutes.
Summit Elite U10 girls and Sporting Blue Valley Villarreal 03-04 girls gold. Now, ladies and gentlemen, FC Kansas City and our partners at Hy-V are proud to recognize local youth soccer teams from both sides of the state line. We like to honor teams who display team pride, sportsmanship, community involvement, and a passion for the game, along with their on-field successes. Tonight, we would like to introduce to you the KC Fusion Academy Hoffman 03-04 girls who recently won their All-American Division through Heartland Soccer. How about a big round of applause for these young ladies, our Hy-V Team of the Week. Blues fans, the IROC Foundation, which means Imagine Getting Rid of Cancer, is a non-profit organization founded in 2009. The IROC Foundation was formed to bring awareness to Ewing sarcoma, to save lives, empower people to find cures, and to help people and organizations in a variety of ways as they battle cancer. We'd like to thank the Overland Park Auto Group, Fiat, Mazda, and Volvo for their 12-player program in conjunction with the FC Kansas City Blues. 2 tickets are being provided to each home game during this season to either a patient, Overland Park Auto Group's IROC guest for tonight's game is Dalton Berner. Dalton was diagnosed February 19th of 2010 at the age of 5 with a tumor in the soft tissue of his left calf. He endured 25 rounds of radiation, followed by surgery to remove what remained of the tumor in May of 2010. Unfortunately, in September 2010, a follow-up scan revealed 2 new tumors growing, which resulted in 5 more rounds of chemo, followed by another surgery in March of 2011 to remove what remained of those 2 tumors. As of March 2016, Dalton surpassed 5 years with no evidence of disease. Dalton is about to graduate from 5th grade and move on to middle school. He's a huge soccer fan and loves attending Comets games, as well as FC
got some excitement. Let's introduce yourself. What's your name?
Jim Gamble.
Jim, are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Jim is ready. Make some noise for Jim. Jim, what we've done is we've measured this off 25 yards. We've got a 19-inch target, and you have a chance to win a brand new vehicle from Mazda, Overland Park Mazda. That's a Mazda CX-5. How's that sound?
I'll take it.
You'll take it. All right. Here we go. We've got a 19-inch target. 25 yards. No matter what, you're still going to walk away with something thanks to our friend at Overland Park Mazda. Here we go, Blues fans. Make some noise for Jim. Here we go. Hey, that's all right. We're still going to hook you up. Next time, somebody can win that $35,000 vehicle from Overland Park Mazda. So close, so close.
He's like he wasn't in the suit yet. Or everybody still up. But he didn't mean it like he didn't break.
They were auctioned off just like we're doing this evening. On that night, the Comets pink jersey auction raised $3,275 for the Ali Kemp Educational Fund. Presenting Roger Kemp with a check for the proceeds is Brad Likens. How about a big round of applause for Roger Kemp and the Ali Kemp Educational Foundation. Educational Foundation are being auctioned off through a silent auction near the main gate until the 75th minute of tonight's match. Please place your bids soon to support this tremendous organization.
Hey, we are back up on the streaming broadcast. The National Women's Soccer League, FC Kansas City, home to the Chicago Red Stars, 0-0 at halftime. And FC Kansas City has made a halftime substitution. Heather O'Reilly, who took a couple of good shots in the first half, not only with her foot on the ball, but also took some shots to her body. She is out, and Erica Timrak is subbed in. And Erica, this was the first time she did not start this season for FC Kansas City, so she's in at halftime. Back with Tiffany Weimer, who joins us on the broadcast, and we appreciate that as well. Back for the second half. I'm glad you came back, your first experience.
I was a little nervous to return, but here I am. I feel a little warmed up now.
There
so
you go.
I'm ready to go.
Well,
I'm also waiting for the telegram to tell us if there's an injury or why there was a substitution at halftime.
And Heather O'Reilly is off for FC Kansas City. Erica Timrak is in. So the Chicago Red Stars will not have to deal with Heather O'Reilly, who made some really good hard-charging runs in the first half. And the temperature continues to plummet here in Kansas City. It was about 75 degrees at 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, but it is now down to the mid-50s and heading down to the 40s. The wind is still steady, moving from our left to our right, so that wind is out of the north. It is a cold north wind. FC Kansas City wearing an alternate pink home jersey this evening, moving from left to right, the white shorts and the white socks. Get you caught up on that in just a second. Chicago Red Stars in their blue and white tops, blue shorts, blue socks. Now here's Erica Timrak getting her first touch since coming into the game. She's immediately fouled, and that usually happens. But again, if you missed us in the first half, FC Kansas City wearing the pink jersey tonight in order to think about Allie Kemp, who several years ago here in Kansas City was a lifeguard at a local swimming pool, and she was tragically murdered. But her father has done so much good work here in the Midwest, in Kansas City, and organizing and raising money to teach young women and young people in general self-defense. And it's such an important project, and he is here tonight, and we appreciate that. That is why they were wearing the pink jerseys tonight. But Erica Timrak, Tiffany, I would expect her to come out, as I like to say, like a house on fire.
Yeah, she's actually had a good week of training, and I think anytime you go from starting to not starting, you know, you always have a little bit more fire in there.
And believe me, if you want, I guess anything more challenging than facing Erica Timrak is a motivated Erica Timrak by virtue of her not getting a start this evening, but now into the second half. Timrak on that far side sends it out. This will be a throw-in for Chicago. Aaron Gilliland is over there. And there's Erica Timrak battling for it on that far side. Trying to get the turnover, and they'll cycle this almost all the way back to Alyssa Nair. Not quite. And now it is Nair. A pretty good first half. She had some challenging shots taken by Shea Groom and Jen Buskowski and Heather O'Reilly, and she was more than up to the challenge. Now Chicago, which did not have a majority of the possession in the first half, will try to turn that around here in the second half. Francis Silva for the Blues immediately turned over the Red Stars, and there's Press, World Cup champion. Now here's Alex Arlette, again making her first start for FC Kansas City. Mandy Laddish dancing through one defender, then two, charging headstrong toward goal. This will be Francis Silva on the near side. Sends it across, high arcing, Arlette, and that bounces off a defender, and Chicago has a player down inside the 18. And she took a hard shot right to the head. And it looks like Alyssa Motts. And we'll take another look at it. This was a hard shot.
Ooh, yeah, right to
Just
the face.
yeah, she didn't see the header coming.
That doesn't feel good.
So Alyssa Motz is down for Chicago. Never speculate on an injury like that, but with Tiffany, that's a bang-bang play, and that is so hard if you're not looking right at that direction, and the ball changes direction so quickly, and you're caught off guard.
Yeah, you can't react to that fast enough. There's no way.
And here's one more look at it. This is more of a wide angle. You can kind of see how hard it is to,
Bam.
yeah, there it is one more time.
This poor girl. How many
Just
times?
turn, yeah. Just turn right around and into it. So Alyssa Motz will come off momentarily. Now FC Kansas City, there's Erica Timrak, again, second half sub in place of Heather O'Reilly, dispossessed and nicely done by Calaprico. Now is Desiree Scott forcing the turnover for FC Kansas City. Shea Groom plays it outside to Timrak. Middle of the field, Jen Buskowski playing in her final game. Can she get on the score sheet? This will be the near side. Yale is on it. Left foot in front and trying to find Shea Groom there, but just a little bit too soon.
What's been good is when FC Kansas City wins the ball, they've found somebody forward almost every single time, which is good. It's something they've been working on instead of looking to go back every time. And it's been dangerous.
And Alex Arlett has won a throw-in for FC Kansas City. Jen Buskowski making herself available. I think she wants as many touches as she can get in her final 45 minutes as a professional soccer player. Again, Jen Buskowski retiring after this game. Pursue her next career, physical therapy. And Tiffany, I don't know how much. I'm sure as a professional athlete you deal with physical therapists all the time. They can be tough.
Yeah.
I can imagine Jen Buskowski is going to be very tough.
She's not going to take any you-know-what, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to go to her. No. She'll be good. She'll be good at whatever she does.
And Buskowski right now marking up press. Sent in front by Chicago. And boy, talk about FC Kansas City hasn't gotten their just finishing touch in the final third. Chicago has rarely gotten there, but now they do. Inside the 18, and a left-footed shot is deflected. And now dangerously in front for Chicago, trying to find a shooting angle with Huerta. Still trying to find it. And Chicago early on, and there's a half chance by press. But well done by Yale to come in and shut it down. So Chicago has had the chances here early in the second half. And this will be a corner for Chicago. And this will be Calaprico, we think, with the right-footed in-swinger. Sends it in front, right to the center. Nicole Barnhart is there. Dangerous, it falls. And FC Kansas City did well to get it away, but that was a dangerous attempt for Chicago. They were right on the doorstep and knocking. Now Chicago will get it back. Samantha Johnson, who's on a yellow, will cycle it back to Nair, who's way outside the 18. Calaprico. DiBernardo. Johnson. Right here on the near side. And way overshot Casey Short. Must be a throw-in for FC Kansas City. There's Jen Buzzkowski initially on the throw-in. Again, Jen Buzzkowski, over 6,600 minutes in the National Women's Soccer League. Decorated career, time with the U.S. national team. Played with every women's professional league the U.S. has had. Now here's Erica Timrak. And again, she's came on here to start the second half in place of Heather O'Reilly, who got dinged up in the first half. And now Chicago's going to launch the counter the other way. Trying to get it ahead, looking for DaCosta. And now sent in front, dangerous, here's Press. Trying to get a foot on it, sends it out wide. Nicely done, good footwork by Motz, who was down earlier, and cleared away by the Blues. Mandy Laddish out wide looking for Timrak, and Timrak can run for days. Still Timrak on the far side, overlapping run Buzzkowski. And there is Buzzkowski trying to get a foot on it, left in front, it's tipped away. Boy, Buzzkowski's had 3 chances to either get a goal or get an assist, and Tiffany, I'm glad to see her going out just 100 miles an hour, just like she's played her entire career.
I know. And it's just like what we talked about, though, earlier. The final ball, if they can get that final ball in the box there, they do everything else right. The final ball is going to lead to at least an opportunity.
There's Chicago Press charging in against Sauerbrunn, tipped away by Barnhart, still dangerously rolling in front. And tipped away at the last second by Brittany Taylor. Boy, Nicole Barnhart did good to get on that, but that ball was just spinning in front in slow motion. Seemed like 10 minutes.
Press does so well to get 1v1, and she always gets a shot on target.
Barnhart tipped it away, and that was 2 World Cup champions going head-to-head, Press and Becky Sauerbrunn. Kristen Press leading that Chicago attack. Co-leader in the National Women's Soccer League with 3 goals this season. Sure there will be more. May not be tonight the way FC Kansas City has been playing. Minute 57. We are still scoreless here in Kansas City. Chicago Red Stars having a pretty good start to this second half. Didn't have much going in the first half. Casey Short had it, sent it across the middle. Press is going to send it out wide. Picked up out of the air, nicely done by Gilliland. And she runs over Erica Timrak. No foul called, referee says play on. Fancy footwork by Gilliland, and that's tipped away by Yale, Averbush. Now Casey Short on the near side, and she'll send it far post. Header up in the air. Yale is there, and shot for Chicago possible, and it's taken and blazed over the top, and a nice job by Huerta, making her 5th start, the 23-year-old striker for Chicago. But, boy, Tiffany, the Red Stars have had a lot of attacking chances here in the second half.
Yeah, she does. Who's this? Huerta? She
That's
does well
Huerta.
to get the ball in the box, but Yael at the last minute, just her little bit of a reach to push her off balance, and that's the difference between a good shot on target and hitting it over like that.
Forced her into a bad angle.
Absolutely.
Tiffany Weimer, first time doing the broadcast here for FC Kansas City, training with the team, and you started a magazine, right? Soccer magazine?
Yeah, 5
What
years
is it?
ago.
First of all, what is it called?
Our Game magazine.
Our
you
Game
guys should
magazine.
check it out.
Okay. We'll pick up that thought after this Chicago attack. And Desiree Scott right there to cut it out for FC Kansas City, still fighting for it.
She's like an
And,
octopus,
yeah.
kind of.
She's
I
all
mean,
over.
how many legs does she have?
She was up in the air, down on the ground, with legs going in like 14 different directions. Or I guess 8 if you're an octopus. And dangerous tip in front, but no trouble for Barnhart. But the magazine, we'll look at this replay here for Desiree Scott. And this is what you're talking about.
1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, 4. There's 5. Unbelievable.
So the magazine, once again, the name is?
Our Game Magazine.
Our Game Magazine. And what is it about?
So women's soccer. We
Okay.
cover women's soccer all over the world. And you guys, it's one of the best sources for women's soccer out there. And you guys should definitely check it out. Plug.
Plug away. What's the website?
OurGameMag.com.
OurGameMag.com.
And if you're bored, you can follow me, Tiffany Weimer, at Tiffany Weimer on Twitter.
Okay.
And
Did that earlier. Got that done.
Oh yeah. Thank you. But this
What-
is about the game, Brad.
Okay.
It's not about us.
No. Our Game Magazine, or on the website, OurGameMag.com. So you're a journalism major?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I'm in the booth here,
So you'll be taking my job next year, right?
Yes.
You'll be pushing me out?
because I talk words good. Or so they say.
You speak Wells? So look for Tiffany Weimer in a broadcast booth or a magazine near you. The Chicago Red Stars, again, enjoying the possession here in the second half. That's press. Across the middle. DiBernardo.
Yeah, I would say both teams it's been fun to watch. It's been good soccer. There hasn't been as many long balls over the top.
Now fighting for it is Erica Timrak. And Desiree Scott, once again, shuts it down for the Blues. Now Arlette on that left flank. She's had several good runs in the first half. Now picking it up here in the second half, and now this could be on for the Blues. Shea Groom lining up a shot, right foot! And just over the crossbar. Shea Groom was in line for a shot. Tiffany, I think you're shocked that didn't go in.
Yeah, I think she's going to be really disappointed with this. This is a great opportunity, best opportunity so far she's had this game. But you know, a little bit lower. She had Nair beat. That's a great opportunity.
So FC Kansas City has to like what they're getting in terms of opportunities, just not the finishing touch right now.
Yeah, and the thing is about forwards, I know a few things about forwards. You know, if you get those opportunities in the game, you might not get another one, and you got to finish those chances there. I'll be sure to remind her about that.
Since you're the veteran at practice, you have license to,
Yes, I'm the grandma.
you can jump in on that. Now here's Arlette. Really good game for FC Kansas City getting her first start, and she'll send it across the middle. Nearly a chance for FC Kansas City with Chicago Red Stars. Nice job of shutting it down. So Our Game, the magazine, OurGameMag.com. So if you have a column, Tiffany Weimer, would your column be called Why Not?
Why more? Why?
Why more?
Why more?
Why not more?
Why less?
Just spitballing here. Got to storyboard this before we get it all done. Get the markers out. Here's Mandy Laddish, Arlette. And it cycles all the way back to Alyssa Nair. And again, you'll see Alyssa Nair this summer at the Olympics with the U.S. women's national team, where they will try to pull the very rare back-to-back World Cup and Olympic gold medal. Now here's Press. You can see why she's such a superstar for the national team and for Chicago. So fast on the ball. along that far side for Chicago. Crossing in front, no problem for Nicole Barnhart.
Ava Bush wanted me to say that she's one of the fastest players out there.
Okay.
So everyone hear that, right?
She give you a 5 spot to get that?
I got some cash.
Okay. On the broadcast.
But I will say about Ava Bush, she has changed the way she played and reinvented herself to be a center back. And, you know, she's feisty in there, and she wasn't always like that. So it's very impressive.
As DaCosta for Chicago. Mandy Laddish now to recover. Erica Timrak. Looks like a gazelle in a soccer uniform. Just runs for days.
We should tell all what players are what animals. We could play that
Figure
game.
that out?
Yeah.
Well, the Kansas City Zoo is right down the street, so we could take the whole team down there and
Okay.
we'll just do a matchup. I don't want to be responsible for that, but hey, it's all you. You take it and run with it.
Yeah, Elle can be a giraffe.
Now she's going to take her $5 back.
A fast giraffe.
Steve Bernardo. Might be the first time I've ever heard the phrase a fast giraffe. To write that one down. Now here's Chicago. Red Stars crossing in front, tipped away by Yale Averbush and Barnhart, who met there. Becky Sauerbrunn will get it out. There's Arlette on the far side. Shea Groom trying to get there, and this will go all the way back to Alyssa Nair. Minute 67. Still scoreless between FC Kansas City and Chicago Red Stars. And again, FC Kansas City in the pink tops, the white shorts and the white socks. Chicago Red Stars in the blue and white tops, the blue shorts and the blue socks. The wind's still howling out of the north, so if you're watching online, where else would you be watching it? The wind is moving from the left side of the screen to the right, and the flags are straight out right now.
No tornadoes, all right?
No tornadoes. We are clear as of right now.
Okay, good.
I know
I'll stay.
The players from the East Coast on the team are not used to watching out for these tornadoes, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. And here's press. Yeah! Chugging through the midfield. And FC Kansas City blunts that and turns it the other way. Erica Timrak. Now Laddish. And down in the middle of the field was Calaprico momentarily. She was slow to get up, but she is back. Now to the near side for the Blues, Brittany Taylor. And she's charging right in on the 18, looking for an angle, looking for a crossing angle. And outside, Francis Silva. And that's deflected slightly, but into the hands of Alyssa Nair. But after the slow start to the second half, FC Kansas City's built some chances here. And Tiffany, when you're training, I know FC Kansas City has kind of struggled out of the gate, but these are one-goal games. You know you're in the games. It's not like the team's getting blown out. You kind of feel like they're just one little piece away from getting that result.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw last game, Lydia Williams made a few unbelievable saves that, if those goals go in, that's a completely different game. And I just, we do a lot of play in the final third during training. We watch video, and it's never as bad as you think it is when you're playing. So I think we're just on the cusp. Sorry, they're on the cusp. Twitter's gonna get mad. Offside. Offside.
When is Twitter not mad?
Twitter gets mad.
Twitter's always mad. That's my general rule.
Right. Just say offside, right?
Oh, there you go. Chicago. Casey Short. Now in front, Chicago with a chance to chip and just missed that post and presses. Definitely frustrated after that as she puts her hands up to her face. But boy, Chicago had a great run there.
That's a great ball by Short in the box there, and anything near press in the box is going to be dangerous.
Casey Short making her 5th start, and she has had a pretty solid game for the Chicago Red Stars as she plays on the near side of that midfield. So Chicago is making a substitution. Amanda DaCosta is out, and Taylor Como is in, number 7. So this is her 3rd appearance of the campaign for Como. She's only played 32 minutes. But if you're getting in games and accumulating minutes and you're 22 years old, Tiffany, is that the important thing, getting your minutes?
Yeah, any experience is good experience, and in this league, minutes like that is huge.
So FC Kansas City made a substitution at halftime. Heather O'Reilly, who got dinged up in the first half, was taken out. Erica Timrak was put into the lineup. And now Chicago Red Stars have withdrawn. Amanda DaCosta and Taylor Como has come in. Minute 71. Each side just trying to find one way to break through. Jen Buskowski was there with a touch, and now a chance in front. Francis Silva fired, and it hits the woodwork. Oh, Francis Silva was right there. Just cracked the crossbar. And Alyssa Nair was beat dead to rights. And let's take another look, Tiffany. This was outstanding.
This is great build-up, perfect ball. We actually worked on that in training, and unlucky.
Just, boy, missed it by an inch and a half.
That's a great save, though.
One more look at it here. Left-footed shot.
Just hits off Nair. Those are the breaks that haven't been falling for FC Casey this year.
Chance to break through. Looking for those 3 points that have eluded the Blues so far this season. Francis Silva was right there and just banged it right off the woodwork. Desiree Scott, little back heel to Buskowski in her final game as a professional. Up ahead to Shea Groom, like a whirling dervish. Shea Groom looking for perhaps a passing angle, shooting angle, and she'll take it far post, and it's off the roof. Wasn't sure if she was looking for a back post pass or taking a shot. Let's take another look. Tiffany, what do you think here?
I think she was trying to cross here. Yeah, she definitely was trying to cross.
Just
Just overhit it a little bit. Silva was on the back of that and looked like Laddish too.
And Francis Silva and Mandy Laddish right there on the doorstep. Just chipped it a little bit too far. Minute 73. Still scoreless between FC Kansas City and Chicago. Throw in on the far side for the Red Stars. Headed down by Timrak, Desiree Scott. To the near side, Brittany Taylor has made a couple of long runs along that right side. It's Francis Silva again. Mandy Laddish just on the doorstep again. Excellent cross by Mandy Laddish and Shea Groom. Oh, it's there in front again. And there's a whistle. But what a cross by Laddish, and Shea Groom was right there. I'm not sure how these are not getting in there.
This is a great run in behind and ball by Mandy Laddish. Perfect cross. It's just Alyssa Nair. I don't understand. She's in the right place at the right time. She's just a great goalkeeper.
Wow. Look at this by Mandy Laddish. Kansas City kid. The header just, wow. Alyssa Nair just maybe got a little bit lucky. But you know what? She's that good. I hate to say it's luck when you're that good. That was just really good. But what a great cross by Mandy Laddish. That was outstanding. Great run and great cross all the way around. So 2 outstanding chances for FC Kansas City in the last couple of minutes, just unable to get it over that line. One hit the crossbar, Francis Silva. Shea Groom's header goes right off Alyssa Nair's foot, who almost got wrong-wayed on that.
And if they finish those chances, this is a different game.
This could easily be 2-0. So Tiffany, as a forward player, when you miss an opportunity or two like that, do you get discouraged at all, or do you think, hey, it's going to come? I'm almost there.
You get a little discouraged. You're mostly thinking that your mom's going to call you after the game to yell at you. But, you know, if you could always make up for it, that's the thing. There's 15 more minutes left to make up for it.
Across the middle, Johnson, who's playing on a yellow. There's Mandy Laddish, who just had that outstanding cross. Francis Silva along the near side waiting for an opportunity. Here's Shea Groom. She spins. She's got Laddish making a run centrally. She feeds it forward, but Nair to the top of the 18 to run it down. Groom, Laddish, Silva, all kind of thinking along the same lines right now. All got something working. Final 15 or so minutes of Jen Buskowski's professional career. Just a salute from our side. Myself and Dave Stewart work for Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. I've had the pleasure of covering Jen for the last 3.5 seasons. She's just been an awesome person to cover and a terrific player, and we've enjoyed our time. And Dave Stewart wrote a great story this week on the website, twcsportschannel.com. So, Jen Buskowski, thank you very much for everything you've done as a player here. There she is. Thanks for everything you've done as a player and as a person here in our community, and hopefully you'll stay around for a long time. And Chicago has gone nearly 10 minutes now without a real opportunity. They came out at the beginning of the second half, looked like they were really strong, Tiffany. I don't know about you, but it looked like they had begun to take the game to FC Kansas City a little bit.
Yeah, and then, you know, there was a bit of a change in the wind, and then FC Kansas City has had more of the possession in this half, and that's where they want it.
There's Jen Buskowski.
And the name we haven't said much is Britt Taylor. She's actually been very good this game. I don't think she's given the ball away very many times. She's another one of those players that's been in the last 2 leagues, played a ton of minutes in a lot of games, and probably deserves more credit than she gets.
Now here's Chicago trying to find a way through, but Becky Sauerbrunn thwarted that attempt, and a foul by Yale Averbush as Huerta is down. This will be a free kick for Chicago. But you're right about Brittany Taylor. She does a lot of the dirty work and maybe, you know, doesn't get the credit, but she's had a heck of a game tonight on that flank. This will be Johnson on the free kick. And Chicago, by the way, if you're watching the streaming broadcast, Chicago is going into the wind, and it is a very strong wind. And it's a cold north wind, which folks from Chicago should be familiar with. And now there's a whistle on the far side and a foul against FC Kansas City. So a free kick coming for Chicago. DiBernardo's over there, but it looks like Calaprico will take this. And it will be Calaprico. And she'll send it to inside the 18, header down, cleared away initially by Desiree Scott. And now FC Kansas City, this could be on. trying to launch the counter. Shea Groom, fans wanted a foul. Still Shea Groom, out ahead of the pack. Shea Groom inside the 18. She's down inside. Fans want a penalty. It will not be given. There's another look, Tiffany.
She does well to get, she beats 2 or 3 players. I don't know about that one. That's a tough call.
It's not the last defender back. There was one defender behind her, but she was taken down inside the 18. Tough to get that call. We heard the home fans in front of us. We know what we know what they wanted.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's a tough call. You just won't get that often. Tiffany is an attacking player. How frustrating is it to get in there and have a chance, get taken down, and not get that call?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely frustrating. But I think it's more frustrating not to get the shot off.
Minute 81, so the final 10 minutes in the professional career of Jen Buskowski. Number 6 for FC Kansas City. Whoever gets number 6 next, if someone is fortunate enough to get number 6, will have to work extremely hard to live up to what Jen Buskowski has done for that number.
I don't know. I think that one should be retired. Don't you think, Brad?
I would agree. The number of minutes she has put in this league, 2 championships, been just a terrific player. One of those players, again, doesn't show up in the stat book other than she plays every minute of every day.
Right.
And does all the dirty work that, you know, doesn't get you the glory or the fame or the endorsement deals, but it wins games. She does the thing that wins games.
Yep.
And now Chicago has not had an attack in quite a few minutes, trying to build something up. Brittany Taylor, again, you just talked about her a minute ago, was able to shut that down. Not out of danger yet. Chicago, there's press. That's tipped away by Yale Averbush, pardon me. Easy for me to say. And now another whistle, and that'll be a foul against Chicago, so a free kick coming for FC Kansas City, quickly taken. Final minutes. Alex Arlette. And how has Alex done in her first start for the Blues?
I think she's done really well. She's gotten the ball in the box for us a few times, and I think she, you know, got rid of the nerves pretty early on, completed a lot of passes. She's done well.
Minute 83 as the wind starts whipping again here through Swope Soccer Village in Kansas City. And where this soccer park is located is basically in a valley, so the wind just comes howling right through it. Each team looking for perhaps 1 or 2 more opportunities. And Katie Bowen is now checked in for FC Kansas City in place of Mandy Laddish. So Laddish out, Bowen in.
This is her debut.
Yep, she has not played a minute this year, the New Zealander.
She had to finish up school at UNC, and then she just got here last week.
So just hit town, get a few days training, and boom,
She's in.
playing for the Blues. So welcome to Kansas City. Sorry about the weather. That's the way it goes. Now Chicago looking to mount an attack. There's press, battling with Yale Averbush, and a whistle. That'll be a foul on press. Free kick for the Blues. Minute 85. Again, the final game for Jen Buskowski. Outstanding midfielder for FC Kansas City for 3.5 seasons, 2 NWSL championships. So many years as a professional, great college player, great high school player, and now headed away. Dangerous in front, shot for the Blues, tipped away again. The Blues, bad luck, undone. As Alyssa Nair is able to stop it. Boy, Chicago made a horrible mistake, and FC Kansas City unable to make them pay for it.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a lucky bounce here, a little bit of the wind maybe. And
The header
Bowen's first shot,
oh,
and a great save again by Nair.
headed right into the path of Bowen.
Phenomenal's vertical minutes have expired.
Boy, if it wasn't for bad luck, the Blues would have no luck at all tonight. 3 outstanding opportunities. And had Chicago not had Alyssa Nair, this might be a different story. Throw in by Brittany Taylor. Now Chicago, as you can see that wind whipping up again. And now Erica Timrak with the dispossession. Nice back heel to Desiree Scott. Desiree Scott up front. Just looking for one break, one opportunity. Push one through. Get the 3 points at home. Turn the luck around a little bit. And now here's press. Jen Buskowski cuts it out. Who else? One of the world's top midfielders against one of the top defensive midfielders. And we got a player down for Chicago just outside of the Chicago 18, and that looks like Sarah Johnson. I have to get a closer look, and Alyssa Nair is out there to check on her. So the team trainers for Chicago are out. So this will add time onto the final 90 minutes. So Tiffany, you get into this point of the game, you know, you've seen the bad luck that has fallen FC Kansas City's way. Try to find one last opportunity, one last push. We'll take a look at what happened here on the replay. Just an awkward,
Maybe a cramp.
reach, yeah. And that's Calaprico, who's going to have to step out for a few seconds. And she will be replaced. Substitution coming on for Chicago. And it will be Jen Hoy, a Princeton product. She's made 3 starts this season. She did not start tonight, so she is in. Still looking for her first goal of the season. So Jen Hoy in here for the final few minutes for Chicago. We're minute 88, but there'll be, I'm going to guess, anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes added on at the finish. Chicago cycles it back to Alyssa Nair. Still Chicago. Yale Eberbush. Jen Buskowski. Becky Sauerbrunn. Arlett making her first start again. Bowen. An opportunity to be a throw-in for the Blues. This will be Arlett to throw it in. Desiree Scott popped it up in the air. Lost possession. Taken away by Chicago. Huerta. And the Red Stars will launch a counteroffensive, and that's Hoy just into the game, and this will be a handball. It was off the shoulder, but a handball against Chicago. And we'll keep an eye on that sideline to see how much added time we will have here. Surely at least 3 minutes. Here's Press just pedaling through the midfield. Blazing on fire. Press with a shot, left foot, save Nicole Barnhart. Outstanding save, but a great run by Kristen Press.
She just took it up another gear in the 89th minute. That's
Reminds me, Tiffany, I don't know about you, but it reminds me a lot of Heather O'Reilly. Just that extra gear, just throw it in and go. There's Jen Buskowski. Fans are cheering her on in her final minutes as a professional. Class act, start to finish. And we have now reached 90 minutes. And there will be 3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes of added time. Chicago, can they steal 3 points on the road? Can FC Kansas City get the 3 points they desperately need? Or will they share the spoils? Francis Silva now turn and burn for FC Kansas City. Francis Silva. Is Shea Groom making a run? And a foul. Midfield as Silva was taken down hard. And she went down in a heap. Fans calling for a card. Tiffany, boy, that's what FC Kansas City just kind of feels that if they just turn it for a second, they can find a goal and get out of here with 3 points.
no. And you said 3 minutes of added time?
Mm-hmm. Here's another look at the foul. Pretty innocent. Casey Short, boy, she has had a great game for Chicago. Talk about the workhorses on the field, and Casey Short has been pretty darn good for Chicago. And FC Kansas City makes another substitution. Francis Silva will come out. And Tiffany McCarty will get in. This is her third appearance of the campaign. So Tiffany McCarty, the Florida State product from Maryland, is now in. So FC Kansas City has used all 3 of their subs. Again, 3 minutes of added time. We are into the second minute of that now. FC Kansas City has had opportunities here in the second half. Just a bit unlucky. Shea Groom got one tipped away by Alyssa Nair. Francis Silva hit the woodwork. Just been so close. And now a corner for the Blues. This will be Erica Timrak, the right-footed in-swinger. Near front, in the middle, and it's headed but tipped away. Kind of the story of the night for FC Kansas City. Just so close and so far away right now.
Yeah, they can't say they haven't had chances. I think they'll be very disappointed with the result if it ends like this.
For FC Kansas City, it would be just their second point in the campaign. But every point is good, and this will be a foul on the Blues. So a free kick for Chicago. This will be DiBernardo, but she'll hand it back to Naughton. We are into the third minute. We have completed 3 minutes now of the 3 minutes of added time, so the referee is letting him play just a little bit longer. We had Hoy, we had Motts, took a hard shot earlier in the game. Battle along that far side with Desiree Scott. Arlett will throw it in for FC Kansas City. Perhaps time for one final charge. There's Press. Boy, just so skillful. Jen Buskowski with perhaps her final touch as a professional, and it is. Tiffany Weimer, final thoughts on FC Kansas City and Chicago?
A point is a point for each team. It wasn't going to be an easy match for either team, but I think both teams will be disappointed they didn't finish their chances at the end there.
Final thought on Jen Buzzkowski, who's now finished her career as a professional soccer player.
She's had a tremendous career, college, both professional leagues. Probably should have got a call up to the full national team, but I think she has to be satisfied with what she's done over the years.
Well, teammates, coaches, family, and friends, that is the last minute Jen Buzzkowski has played as a professional, and myself and Dave Stewart at Time Warner Cable appreciate watching you the last 3.5 years, and what a tremendous career it has been. The final game, taking a point, and final handshakes and respect from everyone in this league. So, Tiffany Weimer, thank you very much for your first broadcast here, and hopefully you'll be back.
Thanks for having me, Brad. We'll see.
All right. Thanks to our producer, Brad Zimmerman, and his entire crew. We'll sign it off for tonight. Final scoreline, Chicago 0, FC Kansas City 0. Good night from Kansas City.